Hey everybody, welcome back. I asked in the comments on the first video that for some suggestions for the paint job. I don't want to paint it black. I do have black paint, but I don't want to use black. So I got several in the comments that mentioned colors. White was mentioned. A green was mentioned. I mean, I'm just picking through the colors I have, but there was a green, a white, silver or a gray, yellow, and then I picked out red. I just like red. Heather told me though, she says you have too many reds already. There's red.
I counted like 12.
There's a red 55, red 40, red 40, red Thunderbolt, red 40,
The dye.
red. Oh yeah, red 40. That sounds like dye. There's yellow number 5 right there. But so what I'm going to do is, because I don't really want to have to just pick the color, because I don't want to offend anybody that may have been my friend that left a comment, like Mark Batson or somebody like that, and I don't want to be biased. So we're going to put those in a bag, shake them up, and let Miss Heather pick a color out. That way, will be no problems. Stand by. All right, so we're going to take these videos. Going to take these bottles of paint, put them in a Priority Mail bag, and Miss Heather's going to pick one out. That way there's no bias of who put the comment and, oh, I like them better, so I picked their color. All right, ready?
Yeah. Lemon twist.
Lemon twist, yellow. Okay. Thank you. See you later. Bye. Heather's got the camera here for a second. I was going to take these bottles are a little bit deceptive as far as what color this is. It's almost like, well, that's kind of creamy, yellow. So take the top off and let's see what this looks like. Yeah, see how much more bright that is? That's going to look good. That's going to look nice. Nice yellow.
You're bright like your boat.
Porsche, like Lucas C says, Porsche. But I think it's Porsche. But anyway. It's going to look good, so we'll take these guys and set them off to the side. And it's I'm going to go ahead and mix some paint and get can't forget the whale tail right here. Got to get it all painted. But the body's looking good, so ready for some paint. Let's mix it up and do it. Stand by. Oh, real quick, forgot to mention, the commenter who mentioned yellow was Julius Young. Thanks, Julius, for the comment. I never thought yellow. Yellow never crossed my mind, but when you said yellow, it sounded good. And then you're lucky man. We picked it out. So that I had yellow, just yellow, and I had this lemon twist. But the yellow, that's not like any. It's just straight up yellow. I personally didn't like it as good. So I went back and looked, and this lemon twist is just a better yellow. So anyway, there we go. Let's mix some paint here. So, got a bottle of paint. Got my Mr. Color Leveling Thinner. My hardener that's in this other jar because it welds. I just about had to chisel the top off of it again. It gets stuck. So I'm going to mix this paint with the formula. I've also got my rims. I'm going to spray the inside of these black, so I had to tape it off. That is not easy to tape inside that wheel, but I'm going to paint the center of them black. All right, so let's get started. I've got to paint the body. This is probably going to be a light, not cover the first time, so I'm going to mix quite a bit of paint here. I'm not wanting it to run out. Okay, so let's do, I always go up to the 2 milliliter. So let's do 2. Two more. And I'm gonna do 2 more. I'm gonna do 6. All right, 6 milliliters of paint. I got a heck of a mess I need to wipe up right here. I'm fixing to have a heck of a bigger mess. Alright, give me a second. Let me wipe this up. It's all real life, people. Alright. Put the lid back on this after I wipe the top. If you don't, this paint's almost as bad as the hardener. It will glue itself on there. See how that lid, if you turn around and just put the lid on, it's covered in paint. Get all that paint out of there. You don't want that headache of having to get a pair of pliers next time to get it off. Alright. 6 milliliters of paint, and then I'm going to do 50-50, 1-to-1. Bring this up a little bit. It's a little low. Alright, so let's draw up 2. 4 and 6. That's 50. That's 1-to-1, 50-50. And then I'm gonna put a little hardener. And last time I think I did 6 milliliters. I'm not gonna put that same pipette. I'm gonna get a different one. So I'm gonna do 1 milliliter of hardener. There we go. Throw that one in the trash. These things are too cheap to try to reuse. I will reuse the ones that I'd take the thinner out with. Let me clean this top. This is the hardener. I don't know how it gets up there around the lid because I don't shake it. But it darn sure does, and it makes a heck of a time getting it off of there. So clean your lid off real well. There we go. All right. Okay, so got my mixture. Put everything up. Put on my lunch lady glove. I hate these things. They're so difficult to get on. I have sweaty hands. That wasn't too bad. And I put it right here. Shake the mess out of it. Get it good and mixed. There's some paint on my table. Good mixed. I shoot it at 20 psi. I'm using siphon feed, so I do spray it 20 psi. So I'm gonna turn the camera around here and let's shoot some paint. Stand by. All right, always wear your respirator, or you'll damage your lungs and hear from all the YouTube commenters telling you how much you need to wear your respirator. So make sure you wear your respirator. Take your glasses off because they're all in the way. And then you can't talk because it's so darn muffled. So here we go. I'm gonna turn my vacuum on here in a second. All right, let's turn the vacuum on. Let's get going. Yeah. Alright, so I'm giving it just a few minutes to kind of tack up. What will happen with a light color paint like this is if you try to lay it on heavy, because I have mixed it a little thin, it seems to lay down smoother, but it's thinner. So what will happen if you're not careful with a thinner color paint, I'm painting this light color over a darker primer. I could have painted it white primer, didn't know what my color was going to be. You'll start to see dark, if you overload it, it's going to run, and there's going to be dark lines throughout. I thought that I was seeing something on this whale tail, but there's a little spot. It'll be fine though. I had to catch myself. So when you're painting, if you use this particular mixture of 50-50 like I've been doing, it lays down great, but be careful not to overload the paint, because you're going to have trouble, and then you're going to have a messed up looking paint job. So put on a good tack coat, a good first coat, you know, get some good coverage. Don't leave light spots. Make sure you're getting all of your surface covered, but then let that tack up. Give it 10 minutes. Let it tack up, and I've got about a little less than half of my paint left. That's okay though, because I've already put down the majority of it, and we'll lay down. I'll give us a few more minutes, then we'll go back with a second coat. All right. Alrighty, so the paint has cured, but I'm going to wet sand it and give it another coat. I did notice somewhere, I think it was right along this area, that the paint was not exactly even. Looks like it needs another coat, and I got a few pieces of trash. Let's see, do you see it right there, right in the middle of the roof? Right there, piece of trash there, a few pieces in the hood dust or whatever it is. I'm gonna give it a wet sanding and another coat of yellow, light coat, and that will furthermore bring the gloss out too. Got this toothpick is still on the whale tail, that's why it's sticking up there. That's where I glued it. I try to find the most inconspicuous place to glue a toothpick, because this little grill is going to go right over that. I don't think you'll see it. Got some detail work done on the door panels. The seats are done, the dash, and look at that right there. Look at these wheels. I painted the centers black, and I went ahead and gave them a scuffing. Man, those things look great. It's going to look real good up against that. But anyway, this is ridiculous. What do I mean by ridiculous? Too many little darn parts. Too many. Ridiculous. Just that's the only word I can come up with. There's no sense in having to run a bunch of plumbing that's going to be up under something where you'll never be able to see it, unless you want to have it on the stand. They did make an engine stand for this thing. See, this round deal. That is an engine stand that you could have built if you wanted to do a static display of the engine. That would be fine, but oh my goodness. Let me tell you, that's a beast right there. I got it together. I am certainly glad that it's covered up with that big old breather, and it's going to be kind of hidden in the back to cover my flaws. But it is a cool looking engine. I mean, it really is. I love an air-cooled Porsche engine, but man, let me tell you, it was a booger. So anyway, all right, so let me get some wet sanding done, and be right back. All right, so the wet sanding is complete. I was able to eliminate those bad places and give it I scuffed the entire car. I used 3000 grit wet sandpaper. The reason you wet sand it is if you used 3000 grit, it would just clog up immediately with paint debris. But when you wet sand, it makes an even finer cut with the sandpaper. So I've got this thing scuffed, and it also gives, if you're going to spray another coat of paint and the paint is completely cured, it's kind of advisable to go ahead and scuff it, because it gives it a rougher surface for that paint to adhere to. If you have a completely slick surface, you may, now this isn't a car that's going to be driving up and down the road, you probably wouldn't have any problem, but at least in real life you would want to scuff that car before you painted it. You wouldn't want to shoot it over a shiny finish, and that's what I've done here. And I'm going to look it over again. I do still see a couple little spots that I may have to go further. You don't want to go down to your bare to your primer. That's one thing you want to be careful with. Any edge is going to go down to even if you're using 5,000 grit sandpaper, you're going to get down to the primer pretty quick if you're sanding on an edge. And then what you're going to run into is when you start to spray again, you're going to have extra coats on that place that was showing through, so you don't want to do that. So keep the sanding be very conscious when you're wet sanding, to stay on the flat surfaces. You can stay on them a little longer. The edges, chrome mark places like seams on the body lines, you gotta be careful. But anyway, I'm not going to spray this in this video. I'm not going to run this so long. There's too much to do. I do have the majority of everything done except for this other coat of paint. Like I say, the wheels are done, the dashboard is done, my door panels, my engine is complete, and it looks great. What a pain in the neck, but it looks great. Got the turbo down there. But yeah, it's going together. There's the chassis. It's just straight up supposed to be satin. That doesn't look very satin to me, but I'll go over that with some dry brush a little bit to bring out to kill some of the fake shiny. I mean, that don't look real. So I'll dry brush over top of that. Love the wheels. Love them. And anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video, part 2. I was trying to do this in 2 parts, but there's no way. Thanks to Julius Young, I think that was your name. Yeah, Julius Young, for recommending yellow. I've had a lot of people recommend, even after I chose the paint, colors were still coming in. Like Lucas C sent me one. He sent me a picture of one that was a metallic brown. Oh wow, I've seen some metallic silvers, other paints that would have been outstanding, but I think this yellow is going to do it justice for sure, and it's going to look great. So thanks guys for watching this video. If you hadn't subscribed already, please hit that subscription button. Go and check out Hobby Nut Models, where that great MCW paint came from. So far I have used, with this one, I sprayed it on a little heavy. I still have a half a bottle left, so there's still half a bottle, because I had to do several coats as a light color paint, a dark color primer. It's going to cost you a little bit more paint, so I'll probably end up using 3/4 of a bottle, but that's okay. Go check out Hobby Nut Models, link in the description below. Anything you need for your building, for your hobby, go check it out, for your model building hobby rather. Also, Teespring store, Facebook group, Patreon, all those things are linked in the description. If you're interested in those, go check them out. Also, go check out my second channel, Life's the Adventure. It is also in the description below. If you hadn't already gone over there, go check it out. Give me a sub if you hadn't already. And hey guys, we'll see you on the next one, and we'll get this thing will have a shiny coat of paint. These seats will get installed. Those wheels are going to look great on it, and this engine's going to be shoved up under the back of this Porsche 911 Turbo. See you guys later, and hey, take care. Bye.